this seems a very simple equation for hedge funds. They know how to trade this stuff. You've got a record level on the S&P 500. The risk is more of downside than to the upside of this level.
It's interesting because some of my clients have actually said that there's going to be a long squeeze because there's been a lot of bearish bets in the market, and that the easiest way to squeeze investors or squeeze out the other players is actually on the long side.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Because it's all about bets on the market, and we saw this around Brexit. You saw some of the clever hedge funds getting on the right side of the trade because they saw more chance of making money in one direction, which is if there was actually a Brexit. They had the most upside to capture from that trade. Are you saying there's still upside to capture from going long the S&P?
It's fairly counterintuitive, but it seems like the direction is always with the path of least resistance. And if you look at the markets, I mean, there's been a lot of bearish bets, and it's continued. I mean, if you look at back in October of last year, people were saying that there were only 4 or 5 stocks that were holding up the S&P. Obviously, January was a very interesting time for a lot of funds, particularly hedge funds, and there's been a lot of bearish forces and a lot of people coming, and talking their book to go short. And eventually, all these shorts that are building up the market have to capitulate, and so you can see where there's a rush actually to the upside. I don't know if this is a quality rally, but we are seeing it.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? I mean, as we've seen, I mean, we've all been around long enough, but we've seen irrational exuberance lasting longer than those bears can last as well. The market can remain irrational longer than I can remain liquid. Whoever said that, I can't remember who it was, but what a very famous investor, and that's true. It may not feel good, but again, if everyone's doing it and it's building up, and we're seeing a limited amount of capitulation, so that's what it is. It's one of those unloved rallies, yeah.
Yeah. Well, back when I was at the Board of Trade, it was always buy the rumor and sell the fact, right?
Yes, of course.
And so I think this is where we are right now. I mean, from my personal perspective, I mean, things don't look very well from a European perspective, and so what's going to happen in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, who knows?